खानदानी लुटेरों की कोशिश होगी बेकार। फिर एक बार मोदी सरकार।
As anti-Semitism continues to rise across United States university campuses, US police have seen intensely cracking down on the protesters, arresting hundreds of demonstrators from prestigious universities such as Columbia University, Yale University, Ivy League schools and Harvard. In what can be called an unfortunate part of these protests, several student protesters openly came in support of the Hamas terrorist group calling for genocide against Israel, chanting various anti-Israel slogans.
We are Hamas!
You're Hamas, wow. That's a good one. You're what? You're Hamas?
Yes, we're all Hamas,
As US police officials began a crackdown against protesters demanding peculiar things like disclosing financial investments that the universities might have with the Israel government and stopping businesses with Israel or any company supporting Israel, President Joe Biden condemned the violent protests against Jews and Israel, criticizing their near to zero knowledge regarding what's going on with the Palestinians.
What's your message to the protesters? Do you condemn the anti-Semitic protests on college campuses?
I condemn the anti-Semitic protests. That's why I've set up a program to deal with that. I also condemn those who don't understand what's going on with the Palestinians and how they're being...
Lashing out at a pro-Palestinian demonstrations across US campuses, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Wednesday also weighed in, stating it was shameful and called on the state, local and federal officials to intervene in the matter.
What's happening on America's college campuses is horrific. Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel. They attack Jewish students. They attack Jewish faculty. This is reminiscent of what happened in German universities in the 1930s. It's unconscionable. It has to be stopped. It has to be condemned and condemned unequivocally. But that's not what happened. The response of several university presidents was shameful. Now, fortunately, state, local, federal officials, many of them have responded differently, but there has to be more. More has to be done. It has to be done not only because they attack Israel, that's bad enough. Not only because they want to kill Jews wherever they are, that's bad enough. It's also, when you listen to them, it's also because they say not only death to Israel, death to the Jews, but death to America. And this tells us that there's an anti-Semitic surge here that has terrible consequences.
Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant called out the protesters, saying the protests are not only anti-Semitic but also inciting terrorism. Nonetheless, the Biden administration has asked all universities to ensure the safety of all these students, particularly Jewish students and the faculty. The pro-Palestine protests have lately been joined by people and demonstrators who are not affiliated with the college, hinting at the possibility of aggravating violence and anti-Semitic slurs. This aspect of the protest came to light in an official message by the president of Columbia University, Minosh Shafiq, who stated that the pro-Palestine protests have been amplified by individuals who are not affiliated with the university coming to campus only to pursue their agendas. The anti-Israel protests, which first began in Columbia, quickly spread at the speed of light across several other US campuses such as the University of Texas Austin campus, where around 20 students were detained. Similar scenes unfolded at the University of Southern California, with police officials detaining a Palestinian student organizer. Furthermore, pro-Palestinian protesters stormed the Harvard University campus, erecting encampments after the university authorities restricted their access to Yard, the oldest campus with access to only Harvard ID holders. According to the reports, protests have been orchestrated by coalitions of student groups such as Students for Justice in Palestine and Anti-Zionist Jewish Voice for Peace, which praised the Hamas terrorist group which carried out the brutal attack against Israel on October 7, 2023. While the protesters say they are expressing solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza, pro-Israel supporters expressed fears about campus safety, pointing to anti-Semitic incidents and highlighting highlighting the fact that campuses are encouraging intimidation and hate speech.